For me, the number one thing I look for in a presidential candidate to be the leader of the most powerful country in the world is a candidate who has a more sensible foreign policy. A candidate who wants to use war only as a last resort. A candidate who wants to have a more peaceful and diplomatic approach to governing this world. I love America. We have tons of freedom. We have tons of opportunity. It's a beautiful place to live. But there's a huge thing that I think just most Americans are unaware of, or they just kind of play dumb about, which is how fucked up America's military has been all over the world. America has basically been like that insecure bully in elementary school who's just spreading fear around the world. I think Americans are just sick and tired of these senseless wars. The Iraq war was a huge mistake. We've spent billions of dollars. Like, do you know how much billions of dollars is real human lives on a war that we've probably actually made more problems? I think all this military intervention is actually just causing more and more problems around the world. I recently read this book, The Blindfold's Eye, My Journey from Torture to Truth, and it's about this nun, I think in the 70s, American nun who goes down to Guatemala to volunteer, and she ends up being captured and tortured and by these Guatemalans. And that Guatemalan group that was connected to the government, actually she ended up uncovering that they had ties with the US CIA. And it's just insanely awful and disgusting what the US has done all around the world for the last 30-40 years. There's in South America, Latin America, in the Middle East, Vietnam. We've been going to all these senseless wars. I think it's really important that America has a really strong defense. We have a strong military, but we've just done so much fucked up things over the last decades that it's really time to be more mature. So if I vote for a presidential candidate, it'll probably be the candidate who has the most sensible foreign policy. And the funny thing is that most of the candidates who have more sensible foreign policy, if you look at where they stand on other issues, it's generally things that I would like to see. Seeing where a candidate stands on foreign policy is kind of a good barometer to see what type of person this is. Is this a person who craves on fear and power, or is this actually a person who's going to lead it from the heart? Let's elect someone who has a more sensible, diplomatic, and more peaceful foreign policy. Peace.